Hi, this is how to turn your TC sub and up octave into a chorus or a flanger, or any of the other modulation effects that TC have, or maybe not all, but the ones that the sub and up supports. I have a plethora here, but this should work with a sub and up. I used to have a sub and up before I switched to the plethora. So what you do is you take a sub and up octave preset. So I've got this sub and up chorus that I've started already. Okay, so on the router, 0 dB is fine. I think that's the standard. So turn completely off the sub 2 level, the sub level, the up level. Make the drive flat, so 0, and then 0 on the rest, which are drive up, drive sub, and drive sub 2. So no drive and no octaves. So we just have the dry signal. Bypass the input in EQ. If you've got settings here, you just swipe through and you go to bypass. Again, on this sub 2 output EQ and the sub output EQ and the up. Oops. The up output EQ, just bypass all of those, and then go to the modulation section. Sometimes it's the tri-chorus. I find that too complicated, but you can get this to work with the tri-chorus. But also, these are all the ones that it does support. Classic chorus, advanced chorus, classic flanger, advanced flanger, vibrato, vibrato ramp, tri-chorus, alternative, and the through 0 flanger. But I'm going to stick with the classic chorus. Then your rate, it doesn't really matter because we can check just the control later, but set the speed and the depth. The depth you want to keep quite low. Otherwise, yeah, it's just too wet and doesn't really sound musical. On the mod high cut, if you have anything set here, I would just set it to 20 kilohertz so you're not cutting anything. Then on the mod mix, set that for the chorus. It works best at 50%. You can experiment a little bit, but I would for the chorus put it at 50%. Output level, just keep it flat. And then we come on to the mapping of the controls. Here's one difference with the plethora. The plethora only has 3 knobs. The sub and up has 4 knobs. So on the 4th knob, I would just set it to do nothing. So on A, we select modulation speed, and you can just select a nice linear curve. I found that was fine. On knob B, I set it to be the depth. So with the depth, again, I found it way less musical on higher settings. So I did my setting between 0 and 10%. I mean, you could do the whole way, but it just makes the knob more, you get more range on the knob if you're peaking at 10%. And then on the mod mix, again, it's 50% on the control, and you can set a linear curve and keep it at 50%. If you switch it more to 100% on the control, that's going to turn it more into a vibrato, where you don't have the dry. Actually, I think it does it both ways technically. I forget how a chorus works exactly, but that will turn it more into a vibrato. So, but 50% keeps the chorus. Then the mass, do whatever you want, but this has the mod speed, and product settings. Again, it depends what you like. If you want buffer, bypass, or true bypass, I prefer buffered because of cables and things. Kill dry, I set to off because we do want the dry. I think you want the dry for that mix, but you can experiment with those on different other modulation effects. And then once you've stored in the pedal, we have a chorus, and then this is our rate, so we can go slower. We can go very fast. Or we can do something a bit more usable. And this is the mix. Again, on high settings, I found it less. It sounds. Sorry, that's the depth, not the mix. It just sounds less usable, less musical. It sounds more out of tune. And then, if you turn up the that's the mix. You have more of a vibrato because you don't have the dry signal creating a chorus effect. But that's your chorus. And if we say edit this again, let's see what happens if we do change it to a flanger. I've not tested this. You may have to change some other settings. If I go to where's the modulation? We select classic flanger. Make them still sounds quite chorusy to me, but you'll have to experiment maybe on these slower settings or rates. Now we're back on chorus. But yeah, as I said, this should work with the 7-Up too. And the only difference is I'm going wirelessly because the Plethora X1 has Bluetooth. But you'll need a cable to go from your phone to the phone or your computer or your iPad to go to the 7-Up over USB because it doesn't have Bluetooth.